When you think of the best horror film, what do you think of? Was it the storyline, the jump scares, the phenomenal acting? Because they do all play a part for sure in why you enjoy the film, but for me, the best films tend to be the ones where you actually felt something and that feeling sticks with you even after you left the cinema. So, with no further ado, these are the best, scariest movies I've ever seen, starting with Hereditary. If you never heard of this film, it's basically about a family where the mom's mom passes away, and because it turns out this bougie-looking granny was a cult leader, this whole family goes downhill from there. So we got the mom Annie, who has always had a complicated relationship with her own mother, who creeped her the hell out and wanted her kids to stay away from her. Because her mom is now dead, she's in a very vulnerable state and tries to find ways to comfort herself, like going to support group meetings. Then there's the daughter Charlie, and she's just super weird, like cutting off pigeons' heads and making weird clicking sounds like, and the director knew exactly what he was doing, purposely casting a creepy ass looking girl. And if you think I'm being mean, just imagine waking up in the middle of the night and you see her just staring at you, bro. And you tell me if you won't be creeped out or not. Then there's the dad, who's a pretty chill dude that's a family man, and then the son Peter, who likes checking out ass with the girl he likes at school and smokes pot with his friends during lunch break. Then one day, because the mom is super controlling, she forces Peter to take his sister to a party he's attending, and even though Charlie doesn't want to go and refused, and Peter obviously doesn't want to take his sister but is forced to, he takes her anyway because she's one of those moms that just does whatever she wants, that's a control freak who wears the pants in the house. And when they're at the party, Peter gets the chance to talk and hang out with his crush, who also turns out to be a pothead as well, so oh my gosh, they twinning. But his sister starts cock-blocking his ass like, don't leave me here. And he's like, come on, just let me shoot my shot. And he tells her to eat some chocolate cake while he handles his business. Which sounds like a good idea, but turns out the cake has peanuts and Charlie's allergic to peanuts, so by the time he's stoned out of his mind, Charlie says she can't breathe and isn't carrying an EpiPen for some reason, so dude drives like a maniac instead of calling the hospital, while Charlie sticks her head out the window acting all performative. But Peter sees a deer and he instantly swerves, causing Charlie's head to collide with a pole, and she dies immediately. Now, I'm just saying, if touching a peanut is gonna kill you, should you live? And I guess Peter knows he's in a movie and tries being super nonchalant about his sister's death because he doesn't want to give the girls the ick and just calmly goes to bed. While his mom goes apeshit crazy and then gets depressed and so vulnerable, she meets this woman named Joan. And Joan's all like, your kid died? My son and grandson died too. Let's be besties. Like Joan ends up asking questions like, oh, so like how old was your kid when it died? And Annie's like, 13? And she's like, oh, my grandson was 7. And I'm like, what is this, some sort of victim competition? What the hell? And, well, they become besties, as Joan proceeds to manipulate her into doing things that later destroy her entire family. And the acting in this film is incredible because the family just be having dinner and the mom is super passive-aggressive, just glaring at Peter, chuckling at him when he speaks, and when he calls her out, she just snaps, blaming him for his sister's death and how she'll never forgive him for not saying sorry or apologizing, saying he never takes responsibility for anything. Which is interesting because wasn't she the one that practically forced the sister to go to the party that she didn't want to go? How you gonna act like a control freak the entire movie, but when it's time to take responsibility and it was your idea, you act like you had no part in it? And hey, yo, why she kind of look like William Dafoe from Spider-Man? But to the film's credit, the dialogue, the acting all felt so real. Like the mom actor did her job so well, it made me feel like my own mom was saying it to me. And maybe it could be because I come from a household where the mom is the dominant man of the house control freak while the dad is the submissive one, because, you know, happy wife is happy life, am I right? And because I also have a little sister, every family scene hit me really hard and it made me think like, damn, like my family could be saying all of this or even end up like this. So when Joan convinces Annie that she can talk to her dead grandson Louis and shows her that shit by doing some crazy ass ritual, she teaches the mom that she can do the same ritual to talk to her dead daughter Charlie. And Mrs. Control Freak does just that and basically forces the family to do the ritual with her. And I was watching it like, damn, if my mom got convinced of some cult member to do some ritual, she would absolutely force the entire family to do that shit. Similar to how she forced me to go to all those church camps as a kid I really did not want to go to. So the scariest part of this film for me wasn't the jump scares. It was seeing how the mom got manipulated, convinced to do some ritual, and destroys her own family, because I could see that very well happening to my family as well. And I know this film is a supernatural horror, but not a single scene made me go, oh, this is so unrealistic, what a dumb movie. Because when you watch horror films that's about like Chucky or Annabelle, like dolls, you're just like, you know it's not real. Whereas the horror in this movie just felt real. Like how a normal family gets hit with tragedy and then because a member in the family wants comfort and is vulnerable, ends up destroying the entire family slowly is a very believable plot. And because this film executes this so well, that's what makes this movie great. So yeah, the mom does the ritual thinking she can talk to Charlie with no consequences, but turns out she got tricked into summoning the demon payment onto her household. And no matter what she does, she cannot reverse it. So not knowing what to do, she goes to her good friend Joan, just for Joan to ghost her ass, and turns out, you ready for this? Joan was part of the same cult Annie's mom created, and Annie's mom being the cult leader means Joan was working for Annie's mom the entire damn time. So meeting Annie and becoming besties was just the setup from the start to get Annie to trust her to perform the ritual so that the host can possess Peter.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, yo, but why the cult leader looking like Jake Paul's mom? Unfortunately for Peter, supernatural shit starts going down where dude gets temporarily possessed even in class and starts losing a bunch of aura in front of his crush. Poor guy. Yeah, if your crush be looking at you like that, GG, bro. Yo, look at that dude recording. He's like, damn, that's so crazy. While this kid's like, yeah, aight, buddy.
Performative. Guess somebody wants attention.
So Peter blacks out with a broken nose. The mom, Annie, tries reversing the curse put on them only to unintentionally kill her own husband. And the mom ends up getting possessed. Now, I actually ended up counting, and she deadass just watches the husband burn for 4 seconds straight before she gets possessed. And it's like, the hell, you just standing there for 4 seconds instead of trying to help take the fire out? Oh yeah, she wanted that man gone. And when Peter wakes up, it's like everything in this film was built up for this very moment, because his mom is demonically possessed and hunts his ass down, and that shit was frightening, bro.
She thinks she the Spider-Man. So they start playing a game of tag and hide and go seek, and it was just so wholesome seeing the mom and son have some bonding time. Like, yas, isn't the mom cute?
But seeing his mom later off herself and some creepy ass people that are butt ass naked, dude just jumps out Korean style, and the demon Payman takes over his body as the film ends with Payman being worshipped. Hereditary is my personal favorite Western horror film, but my favorite Asian horror film that I've seen in a while is Incantation. If you're not familiar, it's about this woman Ronan who is cursed with misfortune because of a crazy incident in the past, and she has recorded footage of it, and whoever watches this footage becomes cursed also and dies. This includes her parents, who ended up dying because they saw the footage, and even the police end up dying when she tries to tell them about it. And knowing she's cursed, when she gave birth to her daughter, she left her at a foster care under the care of this man named Ming, and Ming can't have kids because his dick don't work. But 6 years later, her selfish ass decides to take her daughter, Dodo, back into her life again, fully knowing bad shit will start happening to her because the mom is cursed. Like, literally for all 6 years of her life, Dodo has been healthy and just fine, and the first night she lives with her mom, this happens. Like, it's only the first night and Dodo's eye gets infected, the lights go out like they some brokies, and they start hearing Asians screaming like, oh yeah? Yeah, ain't nobody want to hear that shit. And to top it all off, her daughter gets temporarily possessed. You know, I notice horror films really aren't that scary if you get rid of the sound. Like, for example, I'll make this next scene funny. Watch.
Zoda, you're being a diva.
Anyway, this is all happening because 6 years ago, Ronan and her boyfriend's cousin, who looks like every Asian League of Legends player ever, decides to go film at some haunted place for content because they're aspiring YouTubers. And look, I get it. Sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do for content. I get it. But when you enter a place where all the people there are creepy as hell, you might just want to cut your losses and dip, bro. Wait, they throwing up gang signs? Yeah, this is the Asian hood. You gotta get the hell out of there, G. And they're obviously there because they don't believe in rituals and here to record some footage and make fun of it, but the old gang lady mentions the baby growing inside of her when she didn't tell anybody she's pregnant. So her face is like, what the hell? Yo, look at the boyfriend's face. He's like, I'm pretty sure I nutted and didn't tell a soul.
How you know, huh?
Now, they're strictly told to stay in the room and not come out during the ritual, but this faker wannabe's all like,
haha, you nut with no protection.
Then urges the other two to hurry up and sneak out to find the forbidden tunnel that you must not enter. But in front of the entrance, they find a little girl covered in Asian gang signs on her face. Yo, these Asians are gangsters using kids as a sacrifice. And honestly, filming in front of a creepy looking tunnel with an unconscious girl in front of it covered in gang signs, that is enough content for you to film and post where you're gonna get views, all right? But nope, it's not enough, and they keep going, and that's where things go horribly wrong. So this Asian gamer nerd who goons the anime thinks he's hard and breaks the entrance by force, and they immediately hear the sound of a baby crying coming from the tunnel, which again is already good enough content for views, but nope, they decide to explore inside it, and minutes later, Asian gamer comes out screaming, crying, running for his life while Ronan's boyfriend is now pronounced dead.
Oh, you get the karma.
Then she get the smack for not listening, and on her way back, she meets Asian Gamer again, but dude becomes a zombie wannabe, which honestly just looks like a Snickers commercial.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Then we see a bunch of old Asian men in undies, which is scary, because who the hell wants to see old Asian in undies? Ugh. And the Asian gamer offs himself. Back to the present, this kid's crying because Dodo bit him, and she be looking like, yeah, that's what you get if you touch my snacks, ho. Now, the reason it's the best Asian horror film for me is because of how disturbingly unsettling the scenes feel. Like, maybe because the footage is recorded by a standard DSLR camera, but it really feels like I'm watching a YouTube vlog of someone's life just falling apart. And weird things start happening to poor Dodo, like some hands that pull up and touch her out of nowhere, or a voice that keeps calling her to do things as Dodo ends up watching the footage of the incident, meaning she is now cursed too. So the mom's like, Ashiba! Girl, this be all your damn fault. Dodo was just fine before you came back into her life again. Like, nobody told you to do this. Then social workers pull up on her like, madam, your deadbeat ass ain't fit to be a parent, so we're taking her away. And honestly, as they should. But instead of cooperating, she decides to run away with her, hiding her like she's smuggling crack. But when Ming finds her and decides to take her back to the foster home, Dodo gets sad knowing that she might not be able to see her mom again. And look at that face. Look at that face. How you gonna say no to that? So Ming ends up helping the mom escape to a shrine where this old couple can actually help her daughter with the power of performative Tai Chi and matcha. And they tell the mom she has one job. Just one job. No matter what you do, Dodo must not eat for 1 week and she will get better. And the mom's like, oh, okay. And feeds Dodo a few days later. Yo, at that point, I was like, she's clearly the villain of the film. Because not only does poor Ming end up watching the footage to try and help her, which only results in him dying, but this Tai Chi performative ass couple be risking their lives to help Ronan, and her ass doesn't listen to them anyway. Why is this a big deal? Because when Dodo only gets worse since she ate food, Ronan goes back to the shrine like, hey, matcha people, I know I didn't listen to you, but can you still help my kid out? Because the mom didn't listen to them, Tai Chi dude is now dead, and as for the old lady, well, she gets zombie Botox before dying. But wait, there's more, as Dodo be levitating all possessed. And it's like, if you're the mom at that point, it's like, what do you do? Like, what do you even say to her? Like,
wow, my girl's a Taiwanese Superman.
But yeah, the jump scares, the acting, the camera shots, and plot really made this film very disturbing and scary to watch in the best way possible. And the mom do be the villain because the movie ends with her breaking the fourth wall, getting everyone that's watching the movie to see inside the forbidden tunnel, cursing us just so that her daughter's curse can be lifted. Man, all she had to do was just stay a deadbeat and none of this would have happened. But anyway, time to cover the film you've been waiting for. Obsession. So this movie's about Bear, who has a crush on a girl named Nikki and wants to go out with her. But wait, she's getting over 2,000 likes on her photos? Yeah, good luck to you, G. And the film starts off with dude practicing his confession to a random ass stranger going,
I think I really like you. Do you like me?
First of all, gay. And who do you think you are, Saikuno?
Only cause you're here.
Bro, you don't need a whole ass speech pouring your feelings to ask someone out. If anything, that's a turnoff. Ask her out on a date, and if she says yes, proceed and see where it goes from there. And if she says no, cool, you move on. Anyway, Bear finds out his cat dies, and yeah, they weren't lying when they said the budget of this film was $750K, because that cat's face looks fake as shit. It's just a ball of fluff. So Nikki calls him, and when he learns that she dropped her necklace down the drain, he decides to buy her a gift when they're not even dating, which is very typical nice guy behavior, by the way. And he buys a one-wish willow for her that will grant any wish. And later, he gets a chance to talk to Nikki in person. Now, I just want to make something clear. Nikki does not like Bear. Okay, the amount of people I saw on Twitter talking about like, oh, Nikki secretly likes Bear. No, she does not, bro. Just by looking at her body language, this is how a girl flirts with a guy she has absolutely no interest in. If a girl's interested, you can clearly tell whether that's her not being able to really hold eye contact, or her being more shy or nervous around you, or her being more careful or gentler with her words, just trying to appear her, best self. You can clearly tell when a girl's interested. But with Nikki, she gives off, I'm super comfortable, Bear's like my little bro of a friend vibes, and she also bought him drinks, making her look like the provider, and Bear looked more like the princess getting spoiled. Anyway, his supposed friend Ian plays defense, so Bear isn't able to talk to Nikki one-on-one until he decides to drop her off. And when Ian says, take your girl home safe, Nikki hears it and says, ew, don't say that. Which, again, a clear signal she is not into Bear. And later, he fails to ask her out and instead says some dumb shit, so she ends up letting a big sigh like, oh my gosh, do you like me? And honestly, it would have been easier to just ask her out and get it over with, because her confronting you about it makes it so much worse. So dude chokes and friend zones himself like, I think we just friends. So she's like, alright, good night, and dude immediately hates himself and uses the wish on himself, saying, I wish Nikki would love me more than anyone in the world. And honestly, that's some loser ass behavior, bro. Who the hell goes, I wish she loves me? Like, that's gay. Gay, bro. Take the L and just drive home like a man. Like, who the hell goes, Mr. Wish Willow? Gay. That's just gay, bro.
grown-ass man making a wish. What are you, 5?
Like, yes, asking someone out isn't easy and takes courage, but making a wish like that? Come on, dude. But this is where the horror begins, when Nikki completely changes into a different person and starts making every excuse in the book to come home with Bear, even if it means saying her dad has cancer.
And that's why this is such a great horror film, because it is terrifying for both genders, but for different reasons. For example, for us guys, we've all had a crush on a girl before. We've all have, all right? But now imagine a scenario where a girl likes you back, but she's a completely different person, and to top it off, it just goes horribly, horribly wrong. And for the girl's perspective, okay, imagine a guy you want nothing to do with romantically, but now your body's forced to be with him, and this man does things to you without your control. You have no control over, you can't say no. This man does things to you the way you clearly do not wish to be a part of, and you have to experience it. That is terrifying for the girl's perspective, it's terrifying for the guy, so for different reasons, and therefore that is why this film is so good.
Like, Nikki comes over and they start making out, right? But for a brief moment, the real Nikki comes out, and look at her face, bro. She is terrified. And you wanna know why? Cause she's not into Bear. She never was.
I'm just saying, if she was into Bear, she'd be like, oh, what the hell, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? You know what I mean? Like, you could clearly tell there is no interest in that scene.
But by next morning, Nikki acts weirder and weirder. Like, she ends up digging up the dead cat for Bear. And to me, the most unrealistic part about this film was that there were more than 5 employees in a music store. Like, bro, have you ever been to a music store? It's always dead and super empty. So Nikki starts acting hella creepy, and Bear is weirded out by her sudden personality change. But when she later confesses she has feelings for him, bro immediately folds with zero pressure, and the two start dating. Aww, if only that was the real Nikki that was that happy to be with someone. Then one day, dude gets a call that Nikki's been lying to him about her dad having cancer, and this is important because that's how she was able to spend the night at his, saying she didn't want to be alone. And as Nikki keeps telling Bear how much she loves him so much more than anything else, I'm pretty sure at this point, dude realized the wish is real, and he ain't talking to the real Nikki, knowing fully damn well the real Nikki would never say anything like that. So Bear confronts her about lying, but he's not gonna leave her or do anything about it, so why do you even confront her? You're not gonna do nothing. And shortly after, Nikki's behavior gets even worse, like crying and screaming in the middle of the night, or putting a bunch of tape on the wall so Bear can't leave, or her just pissing on herself or making Bear lunch.
Now, usually, making somebody lunch is a good thing. Usually.
But Nikki makes Bear eat a sandwich using the meat of his dead cat.
Ew, that is nasty.
But not gonna lie, this dude deserves that shit. Cause even though Nikki be clearly signaling that it's not her that's dating him, not only does Bear not give a shit about it, but after bagging the girl he always wanted, dude ends up flirting with the girl he knows has a crush on him. Now, call me old-fashioned, but this is not a platonic friends activity. Like, if you're dating a girl and she saw this, I don't think she's gonna be too happy.
Bear the naughty boy.
And later, when he finds out you can call the Wish Willow customer service, he calls it and learns only if he dies, the wish will go away. And when he actually gets the chance to speak to the real Nikki, she's screaming in pain like she's in hell. So you know what he does? This coward just hangs up the phone.
I think it was at this point Bear starts to become more of the antagonist, because he realizes that's not the real Nikki, but he still continues to live the lie and continues to date her and doesn't really try to help the real Nikki, regardless of knowing how the real Nikki feels.
But the film had funny moments too, like when Bear asked to go on a boys' night and Nikki just loses her shit was pretty funny in a relatable way, because we're all human, we've all been jealous before, so it was funny seeing her jealous reaction exaggerated. So Bear folds and brings her to the party, where she continues to act super weird, making the vibe awkward as hell. Like, everyone's there like, what the hell? And Bear's like, yep, I wish for this shit. Then later, he gets a dare to kiss the person on the left, and keep in mind, that girl Sarah has a crush on Bear. And yo, is Bear smiling?
That naughty boy.
And Nikki was actually pretty real for this. It's like her intrusive thoughts took over and did what anyone would want to do, regardless of how socially weird it looks. But suddenly, real Nikki briefly takes over, freaking out, and the first thing she does is try to hurt and kill herself. And Bear's just there like, yep, I'ma pretend I have nothing to do with her acting like this. And I love how the film makes it clear, even though Bear made the wish, dude is still the bottom, because he keeps telling her to act like the real Nikki, and instead she scares the crap out of him, letting him know she holds the power in the relationship. She's like, what you say?
You scaring me.
Listen, anytime a grown-ass man goes, you're scaring me, he's gay.
Gay. I wish she loves me.
Yay!
And later, Bear gets a text from Sarah at 2 in the morning going, let's meet, and if you don't come to me, I'll be coming over. Wait, you're telling me she saw how batshit crazy Nikki was and went, yep, let me totally hit up her man and meet him at 2 in the morning.
Yes!
This girl's stupid!
And when Bear sneaks out, the real Nikki starts talking to him, begging him, please kill me. And instead of trying to help her or even apologize, this dude takes it personally and makes it all about himself, going, what would be so bad about me, huh? What's so bad about being with me?
At that point, I was like, all right, this guy's clearly in the wrong, so whatever happens next, he deserves it.
So he just straight up ignores Nikki and goes inside another girl's car where they're low-key flirting, if you ask me. Then she tells him a truth bomb that Ian and Nikki's been hooking up on and off for 2 years. Wait, you mean him? The one with the Vegeta hairline? Yeah, alright, bro.
Whatever you say, movie.
Then Sarah's all like,
You were supposed to kiss me, tee, and
bang, she dies.
look what you did, mate. Look what you did.
And Nikki's all like,
You scared, baby? Don't be scared, my bear baby.
Now, I'm not saying it's Sarah's fault she died, right? It is not her fault she died. Okay, it is kind of her fault. It is kind of her. No, it's totally her fault. That she died. Really, girl? 2 a.m.? You gonna hit him up and meet him at 2 a.m. after seeing what Nikki did a couple hours ago? What are you, nuts?
And in the end, Bear dies and Nikki gets her body back. And yeah, the acting, the plot, the dialogue, the directing of how these scenes were shot were all insanely good, especially for a film with a budget of $750K that made over $400 million. That is unheard of, and even though Obsession isn't scary, it definitely should be on the list as one of the best horror films I've personally seen.
Thank you so much for watching. This is a new kind of video format that I've been working on, so if you like this video and if this video does really well, I will continue to make videos like these, and if this video absolutely flops, I will take the hint and move on. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for watching. It's been your boy KC, and yeah, till next time.